Getting that perfect sound for your turntable can be both really fun and ludicrously expensive. So before you go out and spend £500 on a pair of crocodile skin lined phono cables, sit back, grab a cup of tea and watch my top 5 perfect upgrades for your turntable video. Before we jump in, it is worth me pointing out that your mileage here might vary. For instance, if you've got a turntable that isn't quite up to scratch and isn't capable of taking advantage of the upgrades I'm recommending here, maybe hang fire and save your money and upgrade to a better turntable first before thinking about upgrading what you've got. Coming in at number 5, you've got Turntable Isolation. Okay, so I'll admit that Turntable Isolation doesn't sound very exciting, and for what it seems, it also comes off as being quite an expensive upgrade. But it can actually make a huge difference to the sound of your hi-fi system, isolating your turntable and the rest of your hi-fi system from any sound around the room. Good isolation for your turntable could come in the form of an actual hi-fi stand, or it could be in a turntable wall bracket that you bolt into the wall. It could even be just a more simple bit of rigid furniture. An interesting bit of DIY isolation that you can try that I'm going to do for another video soon is picking up some granite worktop protectors or chopping boards. You can pick these up in some of the major UK supermarkets for about £10 to £20, and they actually look quite nice, so it makes a really interesting bit of isolation that could work very well. Number 4, get rid of that old crappy aluminium platter and put something new and shiny or plasticky on it. Upgrading your turntable platter won't work for everyone. Not everyone's turntable is really designed to have a different platter on it, especially turntables with any kind of automation like this one's from. Again, it's usually actually down to the material, like glass or acrylic or aluminium with a bit of vinyl actually sandwiched on the top, like my own turntable. Materials like glass, while they do look awesome and have a very bright property, you need to make sure they're really well damped with a good slip mat, or they can actually ring out, which is really negative quality for a platter. Acrylic platters are one of the most common that companies like Pro-ject, Rager and U-turn produce, and they're often regarded as having a very balanced tonality to them with a smooth, pleasing top end. And what's more, they look amazing. Right, we're halfway there. Coming in at number 3, we have the upgraded turntable slip mat. It's not technically a slip mat, it's a turntable mat. Slip mats are for like. Turntable mats come in a host of flavours. Some people swear by the classic rubber mat. They've got nice little Technics ones here. Other people like the age-old felt one that you often get on kind of like the basic thing for entry-level turntables. Each of the different materials you get them out of has a subtly different sound. Corks slip mats are very highly regarded, and many people report that they come off with a much tighter, more focused sound from the hi-fi. A lot of companies actually make them, some of them being quite cheap and some of them more expensive. Because cork is a rigid material, it's generally better to have a mat with a recessed centre to allow space for records with a thicker label to actually stand off the record. DIYing your own cork slip mat could also be something to try. All you need to do is get hold of a 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 mil slice of cork, cut it into a 12-inch circle and pop a hole in the centre. Coming in at number 2 is the Photostage upgrade. Many of the phono stages that you get built into amplifiers, and especially turntables, are often not particularly good. They don't have a big sound, they don't have a very interesting sound. A good phono stage can often sound very musical and have a greater sense of dynamics and range. But of course, like anything, it's all about taste, so you can try and audition a few different models and see what you like. You can even get valve preamplifiers that have that classic warm vinyl sound that we all love. That wasn't really meant to be as sarcastic as it came out there. I do apologise. A good entry-level phono stage is the Pro-ject Phono Box MM. It comes in only £50, so it's ideal if, say, you don't have a phono stage already, or if the one in your amplifier is really crap. If, however, the phono stage in your amplifier isn't particularly bad. I'd maybe jump up to the kind of £150 plus area, or otherwise you might be spending too little money to really hear a big benefit. Companies like Pro-ject, Lehman, Rager and Grahamsley all make really impressive, well-renowned phono stages, and a quality one is a brilliant investment for any system. Coming in at number 1, we have the upgrade that will make the biggest improvement to your hi-fi sound, and that'll be the cartridge upgrade. Your turntable stylus or cartridge is kind of the first point of contact between your actual music form, the record, and the entirety of the rest of your system. So it goes without saying that it makes a massive difference to the sound that you're going to get from your system. Upgrading your stylus can often yield really impressive results, from a wider, bigger soundstage to greater depth, to obviously greater detail, so you hear much more from the music than you previously did. Sometimes, of course, if you upgrade sideways, let's say, some cartridges just sound warmer than others, some of them sound brighter, so you've got to kind of find the right thing that suits your turntable and suits your ears. I've got a video coming soon that'll help you pick the perfect cartridge, but in the meantime, you can't go wrong with trying the Autophon 2M Red. At around £85 in Britain, it's a really good entry-level cartridge with big, hot sound, a nice full sound stage, and a really beefy bass. We don't talk about that beefy bass. Besides that though, a cartridge upgrade can be nearly as cheap or as expensive as you like, from £30 to £5,000 if you're gonna really go a bit mad. So there you go, that's my video on top 5 upgrades for your turntable. If you want to see some free upgrades for your turntable, click right over here. If you want to see a crazy warm-up turntable, click right up here. If you think any of these ideas are good, give me a like. If you want to see some more videos of this kind of thing, also give me a big old subscribe. Press the button here, I think we can do that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.